comprehensive 2,200-page manual when they enter their precinct that will explain exactly what to do.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free here. Take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. It is the live Sunday edition of the show. And joining you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
Of course, you can bring up anything that you want. That is the point here on Free Talk Live. And last night, I did mention a story that we didn't get to. And so I do want to get to that because it is a little bit of good news, actually, coming out of California, because we had the bad news last night that we started the show with out of Beverly Hills, where they have now banned the sale of tobacco and nicotine products to anyone, period, within the city limits, unless you're buying it from a cigar shop. So that was the bad news.
One of Arnold's cigar shops.
Is it really?
I believe it. I've
Really?
seen something.
I saw that too.
I saw something a little later that it turns out that was one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
He's on the OK list. You can
see.
buy tobacco products from the governor.
Well, he's politically connected, so it makes sense, right? So the good news, though, as I promised last night, but we never got to, the AP reporting out of San Francisco that Oakland this week became the second U.S. city to decriminalize magic mushrooms, after a string of speakers testified that psychedelics help them overcome depression, drug addiction, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Well, the testimony is one thing, but there's science to back that up.
And the politicians listen to the testimony for
amazingly. Yeah.
That's surprising.
And I mean, you know, so there's a difference between taking this in a clinical setting and just taking it recreationally. I wouldn't expect to have my depression just handled by, you know, popping some magic mushrooms and go and watch an Avatar at the Dollar Theater. But maybe you just don't know.
I did that once.
Long-term depression, though, I think is one of the benefits of the magic mushrooms, right? It like for PTSD and long-term depression, it reduces it, so it's not as harsh, I guess. I don't know.
Again,
I mean, I wouldn't say you wouldn't get any benefit if your intention is to get benefit. Like if you are taking magic mushrooms for the purpose of exploring, you know, whatever it is you've built a wall up around in your mind, or kind of looking inside yourself and overcoming whatever, you know, issues you might have. You know, if that's your intention, you may get something out of it. If your intention is to just, whoa, dude, tripping, you know, then you're probably not going to, you know, get anything out of it like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think in a clinical setting, you're liable to see more because you're dealing with the people who have done this more often, the experience, the lack of mistakes, you know, those kind of things.
The clinical benefit of whoa, dude, still would exist, though. Like you'd still have lower chances of depression going forward because it's still chemically in your system. Maybe. Even though you're not looking for it,
I don't know. I mean, has that been studied, though? I mean, normally when they study it, it is in some sort of a therapeutic environment, right, where they're talking with a therapist. There's, you know, some programs surrounding it, not just, here's some mushrooms, go have fun in the woods.
Sure.
Know?
And I guess the only thing that I would say, I haven't read the study.
There have been more than one, from what I understand.
But I don't think whether you're doing it in a psychiatrist chair or in the woods changes the chemical change in your brain.
I would say that I agree in so much as I think there's a better chance you'll see the benefit than, say, you know,
drinking.
Well, you know, just some person out smashing up oxycodone in order to snorting it up their nose for pain management. You know, so you know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, if you are trying to drown your sorrows with alcohol, of course, we know that that's a depressant, and it is likely not going to cause you any kind of long-term benefit.
Alcohol has medicinal value. However, the the road to using it as a treatment is littered with bodies.
Oakland apparently did actually decriminalize magic mushrooms. However, the city council voted unanimously.
Even more surprising.
To decriminalize adult use and possession of magic mushrooms and other entheogenic or psychoactive plants and fungi. Denver voters in May approved a similar measure for people 21 and older. Speakers overwhelmingly supported the move, describing substances such as ayahuasca and peyote as traditional plant-based medicine. So this is bigger than just mushrooms. This is a big deal, actually. Use of plants, or these plants, quote, saved my life, said one man who described himself as a former heroin addict. He says, I don't know how to describe it other than miraculous. Some offered mystical descriptions of the hallucinogens as providing spiritual healing. The vote makes the investigation and arrest of adults who grow, possess, use, or distribute entheogenic plants one of the lowest priorities for police. So it's not completely legal. The headline here is completely wrong. It says Oakland becomes second U.S. city to legalize magic mushrooms. That's not what happened.
Right. So when they move it to the lowest priority for police, if you were to open up a story that says, Ian's Magic Mushroom Emporium, and
trademark,
with peyote and ayahuasca or whatever up underneath that as the byline, the cops suddenly will raise it as a priority to handle that.
Or they're calling the DEA.
Yeah, the feds took care of that even when the first weed shops were legal.
Yeah. So yeah, you still would want to do this sort of below the radar, obviously, but it is a very welcome move in the right direction, and nice to see that it's the second city to do this with mushrooms, but also the first city, because I don't think Denver had anything but mushrooms on their ballot measure. This is any plant-based entheogen, which, there's a few of them out there. So very, very impressive, and according to the story here, no city funds can be used to enforce laws criminalizing the substances, meaning that not only is it the lowest priority, but they also can't allocate any kind of money towards, doing a sting operation or whatever it would be that they would need to do to make an arrest on somebody with this.
This is the slippery slope that the prohibitionists were talking about.
What do you mean?
First, marijuana gets decriminalized.
Yep, that's what they said.
Then mushrooms get decriminalized. And then what's next? Meth addicts shooting needles on the street.
Well, I don't know. Can you shoot a needle of meth? You probably can, but
that's the idea.
Okay.
But we've never denied that here, by the way. We've always advocated for the end of the war on drugs entirely. And if somebody called in to say, well, but then they're just going to legalize blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, please, let's do that. Let's do it sooner rather than later so we can stop people from killing themselves. Because not only is this guy's testimony correct, that these kinds of plants, these drugs that are based out of these natural plants, can absolutely help people get off of some of the worst drugs imaginable, including alcohol, including heroin and other opiates. The stories that not only can you see if you look briefly in an internet search and look at the studies that we talked about briefly earlier, with PTSD and depression and things like that, but I've known people personally who've done this.
And even if it didn't, it still should be legal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why heroin should be legal because, well, first of all, there are medical uses for heroin, number one. But number two, the fact that things are made illegal, of course, drives them underground, puts them into the hands of criminals, and makes them more dangerous. So if you actually care, see, the thing with the drug prohibitionists is if they purport to care, right? Isn't that the reason why they're against drugs, supposedly, is because they want to help people, right? If you actually do care about people, then you should want to legalize drugs so you can reduce the harm done by drug addiction. You can reduce the harm done by the black market drugs themselves. Let's go to Jim. He's in Virginia Beach. By the way, our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. Jim, you're on Free Talk Live listening to WNIS.
All right, well, a couple things. The first, if you're talking about staying on the down low, what kind of inventory would you need to consider it an emporium? Like, that sounds like a very large store.
Whatever fits in a paper grocery shopping bag.
Curious.
So Ian and I are from Sarasota, Florida, which is from the same town. We grew up in the same town. And on Main Street in Sarasota, Florida for many, many years was, I don't know what else to call it, but a head shop. The kind of place that sold these black velvet posters in fluorescent lights that had incense burning things. Can Ian help me out?
Are they
here?
gone now?
Water pipes
They
on the wall.
moved to a different location, and I don't know if they're still open.
It's got to be one of the longest running head shops.
Yeah,
It's been around for a long time.
And those kind of places. And it was called The Emporium. And that's why I chose to use the
amazing.
term Emporium. It was an inside joke aimed at Ian.
Jim, I want you to
love
stand by here. Hang on. We're going to bring you back. We'll let you continue with the subject or whatever you want to bring up. You can also take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. 855-450, free like freedom. Your thoughts on legal
She
shrooms?
seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa,
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
South Florida, man, that's one of the best places to go out and have fun. There's nothing like going out shooting a game of pool, drinking a few beers, and seeing some dancing girls. I mean...
Nothing quite like it, huh, Jeff?
Nothing quite like it.
Can't do that anywhere else in the country. Only in Florida. Tampa and Miami.
Well, in most other places in the country, you can't do it all in the same building.
Let me tell you something. South Florida, man, is especially down in Miami. I mean, that's party station down there, guys. A lot of people don't even go out till around 11 o'clock or midnight. Lulu's Bar and Grill, they were selling these T-shirts. It said, "I lost my pants at Lulu's Bar last night."
Lulu's?
Yeah,
sounds
Lulu's.
a little fruity.
No. This is a nice place down in downtown Fort Lauderdale. But anyways.
It must be a nice place with shirts that say, "I lost my pants at Lulu's." Come on in. Leave your pants behind.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. We are discussing the not legalization, as the inaccurate headline proclaims by the Associated Press. You would think they would know better, but apparently no. In the article, they point out it's decriminalization, so I guess the author doesn't always write the headlines of these
Semantics.
things. It's an important distinction because legalization suggests that you've taken the thing completely out of the realm of the criminal as far as possession and or sales is concerned. Decriminalization, it's still technically criminal, but it's not as criminal as it once was. And that's what's happened with not just magic mushrooms or psilocybin in
Legalization
Oakland.
means you can open a shop, basically.
Generally, you'll have to beg permission from the government for some sort of a permission slip.
Someone can open a shop.
Correct.
Usually.
And if you have the permission slip, then you presumably will not get raided by that same government gang.
Not that same entity, no.
But
right.
the feds.
They might. Right. The feds may not care about your permission slip in that case. But in this case, it's Oakland and the city council voting unanimously to not only decriminalize and make the lowest police priority the possession and, well, I guess just the possession and even growing. So you can grow mushrooms in Oakland, and it is the lowest police priority. They cannot use city funds to enforce laws criminalizing substances, including not just mushrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms, but also any other entheogenic plants, such as, say, ayahuasca, which is a tea that you can make from... I don't know. There's different plants that have DMT in it, basically. You'd have to look it up, which plants are the best for it. But
Central American tribes will use it for all kinds of religious ceremonies.
That's correct. And
in South America. Yeah.
So if you want to learn more, by the way, about drugs, then I recommend going to erowid.org.
Do they still exist? Those are
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. EROWID.org. Still exists, still great, still up to date.
All right.
All kinds of really useful information there. There's no reason to be ignorant about drugs in the 21st century. There's plenty of information and good information on the internet about it.
Right.
But by the way, I do want to recommend to you that you check out Freedom Fest. It's coming up in July 17th through the 20th.
Soon.
And that's going to be in Las Vegas, where some other interesting things are legal. You can go to freedomfest.com/FTL and use coupon code FTL50, FTL50, to get a discount on your tickets to what is this year going to be entitled The Wild West, Liberty and Opportunity, or Lawlessness and Violence. You'll get to see some great speakers, including Penn Jillette, Lenore Skenazy, Candace Owens, John Mackey, Kevin O'Leary, Kevin Harrington, Stephen Moore, Grover Norquist, and others. freedomfest.com/FTL. Code FTL50 gets you the discount. Plus, when you go to freedomfest.com/FTL, you can sample what it was like at last year's Freedom Fest by watching the 5 best speeches from last year, including Judge Napolitano, Alan Dershowitz, Charlie Kirk, Heather McDonald, and John Mackey. So, once again, it's freedomfest.com/FTL. Let's go back to the phones. And
I'll be there, too, in costume.
Oh, yeah, we're broadcasting. I didn't make that clear. We are broadcasting from the event, you and I, Mark. So, let's go to Jim. He's in Virginia Beach. And listening to WNIS. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, and we were kind of saying how it can help with things like depression. And I was always taught by my grandmother, you see somebody, just give them a smile, even if it's a fake one. You'll release endorphins and dopamine, and it just makes you feel better. So in its simplest form, I would think a 4 to 5 hour smile stuck on your face would have to make you feel fantastic for days.
Well, I will say this, just to be clear. I mean, I don't want to make it. Hold on. I don't want to make it sound like every mushroom trip is going to be a happy-go-lucky time. One of the most terrifying trips I've ever had. I was on mushrooms at the Hemp Fest a few years ago.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
when I found you sitting in the rain and had to drag you into the hotel room.
Oh, it was raining at that time.
Yeah, it was delightful.
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. So you got to be, you got to take these things pretty seriously and make sure you're in a place where you're feeling comfortable, where you're around people that you're comfortable with, preferably somebody who can be what they call a trip sitter, especially if it's your first time. And a nice thing about having legal products, which again we're not to legalization yet, but the nice thing about legalization is doses can be measured in a legal marketplace. With mushroom caps, if you take 1 or 2 mushroom caps one day and then take 1 or 2, the same amount of mushroom caps another time, it may be a completely different experience because there's no way to know how much psilocybin each one of those caps has in it. You're just buying these things on the black market and popping them in your mouth. So you have no idea.
I would agree with that. Yeah. And if there's just a few left, then you're not sure how to store them. So you might just think maybe if I just ingest them, I won't have to worry about saving them, and that can cause problems as well.
So you sound like you've had a little bit of experience with this.
Well, I don't know if you remember the gentleman that used to say time to make the donuts for the Dunkin' Donuts.
I do.
John Lovitz, right?
Somehow he ended up in my bedroom after a visit to Dunkin' Donuts.
What?
And he came home with us when we went to Dunkin' Donuts, and being in the house caused several problems because several people said his face kept turning into a bulldog and then the devil. So trip sitters are, helpful.
Hold on, just to be clear,
again,
did you actually have John Lovitz?
No.
Well, I just want to find out if you met him.
Cutout of the gentleman. He was a display in the Dunkin' Donuts.
So wait, your friends actually brought the display home with them from Dunkin' Donuts?
Yes.
Nice.
And it actually had a motor, and on the back it said croissants, macaroons, donuts, biscuits, and it looked like he was throwing them into a box and it spun around.
Wow.
That's even better than I thought.
I mean, I'm not encouraging that behavior, but sometimes just things happen.
It just happened.
Singularity posts a picture of the guy. This doesn't look like John Lovitz.
Maybe he just played the character on Saturday Night Live.
He kind of looks like Danny DeVito to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked kind of an Italian guy look with a mustache and
like the hardworking kind of guy that built America in the 20th century. That's what he looks like.
There you go.
Yeah, time to make the donuts.
Jim, thanks for the call. Thanks for the story. I appreciate hearing from you. That's Jim there in Virginia Beach. You can dial in toll free as well and join us here, whether you want to tell your trip story or whatever.
Trippers don't. Here's a true story. Trippers don't just enlist your friends as a trip sitter when they weren't advised of it. Because that's a jerk move, isn't it, Ian?
For sure.
For sure.
You knew I was tripping, though. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
No, I'd have to deal with it.
That's 855-450-3733.
I'm an adult. I put my time in. I don't have to deal with this crap anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but you have a son, though. Time will roll back around for you on that one.
Yeah, no doubt. So they are not going
He's
to be...
not going to get to hang out with his Uncle Ian, I can tell you that.
Council member Noel Gallo, who introduced the resolution, had said decriminalizing those plants would enable Oakland police to focus on serious crime. And he is absolutely right. The less time the police spend focusing on marijuana users and mushroom users...
There's probably some crime going on in Oakland. I think the police could take care of that.
Yeah, there's definitely some crime going on in Oakland. So if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us. I hope this news also encourages other, let's say, state legislatures, looking at you, New Hampshire, to introduce some changes. In fact, I actually have a related story that I happened to come across today about none other than AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, she's a socialist, but every now and then, she's right on something.
It happens.
And we'll tell you about it coming up here in moments. If you want to join us, you can. 855-450-FREE, the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Go to discord.lrn.fm, and you can jump into one of those rooms there. We'll get you on the air, and you'll sound like you're here with us in the studio. It's Ian, Richie, and...
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
I was going to do it, but that's fine, too. Go ahead, Mark. Tell me about My Magic Mud.
I love My Magic Mud. My Magic Mud is a black tooth powder. It's made from charcoalized coconut husks and bentonite clay. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been using this for years. I'm very familiar with what this product does, and I will not live without it. If I run... I who do not do the shopping in my own home, make sure that I never run out of My Magic Mud because I use this product so regularly because it works for me. Not only does it remove the stains from your teeth, so, I drink a lot of coffee, I need to keep the stains off the teeth. Secondarily, it also cleans my teeth like nothing else that's out there. Go check out My Magic Mud. Read a little bit about it. Go to mymagicmud.com, and I think you'll be as convinced as I am relatively quickly. Everything they say is true. It's a great family-owned product. It's made by a gal down in Texas, and Jessica Armand, and she made it for her family. And That's how I found out about it, was from Jessica. And now you can get it at most major health food stores, Sprouts, CVS, natural grocers, and in Walmart in the natural beauty aisle. Some Walmarts don't have a natural beauty aisle, in which case you can't get it at that aisle. But you can go to mymagicmud.com. Everybody can do this and save 20% off of this great product that I recommend. If you listen to one thing I say ever, listen to this. mymagicmud.com. Coupon code FTL. Go get it now. MyMagicMud. Coupon code FTL20. I said FTL before. FTL20 to get 20% off.
Indeed. So again, the toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. We continue talking about the good news out of California, specifically Oakland, where the city council has voted unanimously to decriminalize magic mushrooms. And I thought it would be important or useful to bring up the good old David Nutt chart. Professor David Nutt, which is a wonderful name for somebody advocating for drug decriminalization. He actually used to work for the drug prohibitionists in the government in the UK, and former government chief drugs advisor. He ended up then coming out in favor of ending the war on drugs and released what I would say is a very important chart looking at 16 criteria, including a drug's effects on users' physical and mental health, social harms, including crime, family adversities, environmental damage, economic costs, and international damage, looking at the damage, basically, or the harm to both others and the harm to the user themselves of the world's most popular and some of the least known drugs. A bunch of them, like probably, I don't know, almost 24 drugs on this chart here. Alcohol and heroin, numbers 1 and 2 on the chart.
So do they have them broken out by harm to society?
They do.
And harm to yourself?
Correct. So the way the chart is structured, and I'll put a link to it on our social media.
How can I harm society the least while harming myself the most? Drink bleach?
It's on the chart.
Actually, I think methamphetamine might be the one in that case, because that's the one with the lowest harm to others score, and the harm to user scores is the highest by comparison.
Interesting. I wonder how they rate all that.
Well, you'd have to look at the study to learn more about it. But interestingly, the very last one on the charts here, after alcohol, heroin, crack, methamphetamine, cocaine, tobacco, amphetamine, etc., mushrooms down all the way at the bottom with very, very small rating.
Mushrooms are not harming society, ladies and gentlemen.
No, in fact, it doesn't
make
even
the
show
argument,
that.
you really have to be a dyed-in-the-wool drug warrior. You have to be getting all of your paycheck from anti-mushroom stuff, from what I can tell, to be against magic mushrooms. Because the people who are doing magic mushrooms are generally not doing anything to harm society. They may be, maybe they could work a little harder or whatever if you're going with the stereotype, but nah, I don't see it.
The most surprising inclusion on the list is cannabis, which is actually at number 8 as one of the more harmful drugs, allegedly.
Interesting.
Which is very interesting. Now, of course, you are ingesting smoke in most cases when using cannabis, but I don't know if they took into account the ingesting by eating it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how they calculate.
They certainly didn't break the numbers out.
But with cannabis being legalized in 10 states now, I think, in the United States, there's certainly been no serious damage to society. If anything, we're better off because we don't have the police running around arresting young people, arresting anybody, period, in those states for possession of relatively small amounts of cannabis. So I just wanted to share that as we continue discussing the legalization or decriminalization of psychedelic mushrooms. And the related story that I wanted to share on this is actually getting published in a few different places today. I have the Forbes version of it here about Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Some people like to call her AOC. She has filed legislation as of Friday to remove a legal barrier that scientists say makes it unnecessarily difficult for them to study the medical benefits of psychedelic drugs like psilocybin and MDMA. Which, by the way, MDMA is not a psychedelic drug. But, it's Forbes. It's the mainstream media. What can you do? Psilocybin, the active component of so-called magic mushrooms. Okay, and the way it's written is strange. And MDMA, which psilocybin is not an active component of MDMA, just to be clear, but the way it's written could be confusing. Psilocybin, the active component of so-called magic mushrooms, and MDMA, commonly referred to as ecstasy, have, quote, shown promise in end-of-life therapy and treating PTSD.
Nice.
Unquote. And that's according to Ocasio-Cortez's proposal.
Yeah, I mean, real promise in treating PTSD. And when it comes to end of life, why do you care? If the person's laying in their bed suffering or laying in their bed tripping, why do you care?
I think there was a Donald Trump article that said he was going to make it easier for, not necessarily end of life, but experimental therapies. For
really?
The last chance kind of therapies.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. They have some special term for it.
Well, maybe he can team up with AOC on this one. They can both get something right for once.
Well, if she stops calling for his impeachment, I'm sure he will. But he's
maybe they just need to do some shrooms together. And
there you go.
You know.
God, please. Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump in a room together with some shrooms. I will pay for it.
Down in Mexico with some ayahuasca.
Did you ever read the article somebody wrote about what it was like to go to a Donald Trump rally in 2016 while tripping? It was like pretty scary, apparently.
You can see all the evil in the crowd.
Or on his face or whatever. I can imagine it. All right, so we'll continue with the story on AOC here in moments, but Sarah is on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, have you ever done any mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms?
No, I eat shiitake mushrooms and mushroom capsules, but I don't trip on it. I don't get high on stuff
I see.
Like that.
You never have, huh?
No, I'm just not that much into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's okay.
No,
it's not for everybody. I was just asking. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
I haven't either if it makes you feel better.
You had mentioned that Texas removed all of the red light cameras, or going to.
Yeah, that's right. The state government, the governor has signed a bill in Texas to put an end to red light cameras statewide. There are a couple of cities, I guess, that are under a contract. Those contracts will be allowed to expire. They're not going to terminate them early. But for the most part, red light cameras are going to be prohibited by the state government in Texas, which is wonderful news for people who enjoy driving.
Well, the thing is, that Texas, they can afford to do that because, they're live officers at the patrol state. I mean, they love traffic citations.
Every state government loves traffic citations.
I think she's saying more of it in Texas.
It's huge money. And aren't there interstates? Mark, you and I have been down there before a few times for the Austin, Texas Bitcoin Conference. If I recall, when we were on the interstate once, it was like 80 miles an hour down there in Texas.
It might as well be. It's just huge. These huge tracts of land.
There's more on the way here. 8:55.
She has huge tracts of land.
450 free. Thanks, Sarah, for the call tonight. There's more coming up. You can bring up anything you want. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? 1? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-301-5435. That's 800-301-5435. 800-301-5435.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey.
Who do you think
Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on the calendar. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, and bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
Yep, and coming up here tonight, we are going to talk about the Millennials and their lack of any skills whatsoever, apparently, when it comes to, I don't know, drilling a hole.
Housework.
A little bit of housework
and house repairs.
So you've got that story, Richie. And then also, Mark, you had a story about government seizing children. Falsely. We'll get into that. But first, more on the good news, because it's nice to have some good news every now and then about things happening in the world, specifically in the United States in this case, and surprisingly, in the federal government at least, or it's a proposal by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And yes, she's a socialist. And no, on Free Talk Live, we don't like socialism at all. Okay, just to be clear.
I'm not sure what socialism means anymore. The problem
state ownership of the means of production.
That's what it means. I'm not sure that Bernie or AOC are in fact socialists.
Well, they
by
use the
that
word.
Standard. What's that?
They certainly aren't
do.
afraid of the word.
Right, and that's the problem is that this is the Mott and Bailey argument. So people will say, out there will say, when you rail against socialism, they'll say, well, socialism works in Denmark and Sweden and whatever. And you say, well, that's not socialism. That's capitalism with a strong social welfare safety net. Well, then I'm not talking about socialism. Well, you use the term socialism.
Democratic socialism.
Democratic socialism. Well, what is that then?
It's we all agree to socialism.
Right. Well, that's what
51% of us
Democratic
agree.
Socialism, if you look at it from an etymological standpoint, means that a majority of people agree to socialism, which is as I would understand it, state ownership of the means of production. And, well, obviously, you can get usually 51% of people to vote to steal 49% of people's stuff. That's not a political trick. That's just statism. You know, that's just how it's done.
I've got into a discussion with a left libertarian here in town who said the means of production is an antiquated term and shouldn't be used in this discussion either.
Fine. Let's not use the means of production as a term either.
So what exactly is it then? How do you define terms when nobody wants to use the terms that have been used?
As long as we understand that the state is an organization that claims for itself a monopoly privilege on the use of violence in a given landmass, that's what the state is, then we understand that employing the state to do anything, to advocate for the state to do anything, advocates for an organization to have a monopolistic organization to do violence against somebody. And I'm not saying I have a problem with that in some circumstances. I don't mind violence being done to murderers, thieves, arsonists, and, bad things like that. As long as we're going to have an organization that claims a monopoly, then by God, let's turn him loose on the bad guys.
Rights violators.
Yeah. But do I think that a monopoly is good compared to organizations that have to deal with competition? Nope, I don't.
It's never good.
No,
depends how it's
not.
created. If it's a natural monopoly, and I don't have a problem with the formation of a monopoly.
In theory, that could exist.
It's rare,
but I don't think it has.
Can you tell me one? I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I would agree with a natural monopoly. Any organization that simply has for itself a monopoly in a given area that no one wants to compete against apparently is so good at its job.
Right. So good, so cheap, so efficient, so good at customer service that no one is competing with them. I mean,
theoretically,
it's never happened, has it?
It could exist.
Well, yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head,
good.
but I'm not against monopolies as a concept. Just the formation of government granted.
Right.
Sure.
So let's say we have a community of 500 people. One guy is a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the one guy who's a plumber, he's got his house. His house is paid for. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He doesn't mind being a turd herder in his spare time. So off he goes, and he takes care of...
I've never heard that as a term for plumber.
And he takes care of people's plumbing.
Not very kind.
And people, well, sure, they get paid a really kind wage, so they don't care what you call
in his case, he would be very affordable.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that this guy, he goes and does his thing, and he's doing it to help people out, and everybody in this 500-person community doesn't shove stupid things down their drain. It doesn't frustrate the plumber. Like, these are good customers, and he's a good plumber, and suddenly we have a natural monopoly. Fine. I love him. I think he's awesome. I just don't believe in it because I know what customers are like. I know what your kid's like. He's shoved little plastic figures down the thing, and he's jamming up and then you got to go in there and dig them out every week.
Well, even in that case, for him not to be a monopoly, someone would have to enter into competition with him and say, I can also plumb those toys out of the toilet for cheaper.
Yes.
Were we going somewhere with the monopoly?
I don't remember.
I just wanted to clarify natural monopolies.
Okay, got it. So back to the story about the Ocasio-Cortez proposal, which has been filed as legislation to remove a legal barrier that makes it very difficult for the scientists to study medical benefits of psychedelic drugs and other illegal drugs. The measure, which is an amendment to a large-scale appropriations bill funding parts of the government for fiscal year 2020, would delete a long-standing rider that prohibits spending federal money for, quote, any activity that promotes the legalization of any drug or other substance in Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act. The summary states, quote, academics and scientists report that provisions like this create stigma and insurmountable logistical hurdles to researching Schedule 1 drugs. Cannabis is, according to Forbes, classified under Schedule 1 as well, which, by the way, for those that don't know, Schedule 1 is on this list of controlled substances, Schedule 1 is the highest, meaning it's supposedly the drugs that have no accepted medical benefit. Which is false because marijuana has plenty of accepted medical benefits, but yet there it is on Schedule 1. Researchers wishing to study cannabis also have to overcome procedural hurdles that don't exist for other less restricted substances. The existing policy in question that Ocasio-Cortez is seeking to overturn has been attached to legislation funding the U.S. Departments of Labor, Health and Human Services, and Education since at least 1996. So
she's piggybacking on other legislation?
She's piggybacking it on the fiscal year 2020 large-scale appropriations bill funding parts of the government. So, quote, the language has served as a gag rule on government employees discussing the benefits of legalization, according to Michael Collins, director of the Drug Policy Alliance's National Affairs Office. He says, quote, we're moving away from the war on drugs, slowly but surely, and language like this belongs in Nancy Reagan's journal, not in a Democrat bill. Representative Lou Correa from California, also a Democrat, filed a separate amendment to the new spending bill that would block the Department of Education from moving to, quote, deny or limit any funding or assistance to institutions of higher education that allow the use or possession of medical marijuana in states where it has been legalized. So just to be clear, that means that right now, if there's a, let's say a college that
wants to have a medical marijuana medical program to teach doctors about it, the DOE under some Republican can't stop the funding. And I agree with that because states should have that power. However, the federal government shouldn't be funding state colleges anyway. Where is that in the Constitution?
Totally agree with you there. This, of course, is just symbolic, right? Like this is the idea of it is we're not going to end federal funding of colleges. That's not going. Nobody's going to propose that. I mean, we'd like to see that happen. We'd like to see the government get out of education entirely. But because we know that's not going to happen, well, it wouldn't be a bad thing to delete these prohibitionist statements from the funding mechanisms and all that. The potential loss of federal funds has been held up by many colleges and universities as the reason they won't allow students to bring medical cannabis onto campus, even though they're legal patients under state law. So you're literally preventing young people who are medical patients from using their medicine while they're in college. There's like, oh, you want to use your medicine? You can't go to college here.
Well, they prevent legal firearms users from entering on college campuses, too.
That's true. And they shouldn't do that either.
There's probably a handful of people out there that really can't live without their THC drugs. But those people could probably get an on dormitory exemption, basically an on-campus exemption, so you don't have to live in dormitories to go to college.
You don't have to in some cases, but here at Keene State, where we live in Keene, New Hampshire, it is generally a requirement that the first 2 years you spend living in a dormitory. Now, it may be negotiable. I don't know. I don't know what would happen because they've been losing students.
Everything's negotiable.
Hand over fist. So if you went into the college, whatever office you'd have to talk to about this and said, hey, look, I want to go to school here, but I don't want to live on campus. I don't want to follow that rule. Do you want my money? They might say, all right, fine, we'll take the money.
Fine, we'll take the money.
My college had the same rule. 2 years.
Did anybody get around it?
I paid for it, and then I lived off campus anyway.
Sweet.
For like a semester and a half.
Wow.
Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. We'll talk more about the war on drugs, and you can also take control of the airwaves here on the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,341, silver at $15, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,041. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, the Federal Government Accountability Office has issued an update to its 2016 report on the FBI's use of facial recognition. The takeaway, which they also shared during a Congressional House Oversight Committee hearing: the FBI now has access to 641 million photos, including driver's license and ID photos, but it still refuses to assess the accuracy of its systems. Activist Post reports that the FBI's Facial Analysis Comparison and Evaluation Services Unit not only has access to FBI's Next Generation Identification Face Recognition database of nearly 30 million civil and criminal mugshot photos, it also has access to the State Department's visa and passport databases. The FBI has done little in the last 3 years to make sure that its search results are accurate, according to the new report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Metropolitan Police in London have arrested 4 teenagers involved in a reprehensible attack on 2 women who were left bloodied and hospitalized after being taunted for their sexuality. The Mind Unleashed reports the 4 males, aged 15 and 18, are being questioned on suspicion of robbery and aggravated grievous bodily harm or severe assault. That's according to a statement by the Met Police. Melanie Gaymanet, a 28-year-old Ryanair stewardess from Uruguay, shared a photo on Facebook of herself and her girlfriend Chris after they were assaulted by a group of men who began shouting at them and throwing coins. The couple had just gone on a date in Camden and were returning home early on May 30th when the 4 men began demanding they kiss each other in front of them. When the 2 refused to share an intimate moment for the entertainment of the hooligans, the young men and teens beat them, leaving them with serious facial injuries before also stealing their belongings. Hate crimes on the mass transportation network of the UK have doubled over the past 5 years, according to British Transport Police data. In what would be the first case of its kind, a Louisiana woman allegedly died from a THC overdose after vaping a large amount of cannabis oil. The Mind Unleashed, citing the New Orleans Advocate, reports that the otherwise healthy 39-year-old collapsed and died in her LaPlace apartment in February due to high levels of THC, the main psychoactive compound in cannabis. That's according to St. John Baptist Parish Coroner Christy Montague. The woman had healthy organs and no symptoms of illness or elevated traces of alcohol and drugs in her body. While THC can cause heart palpitations and extreme anxiety in some users, the federally funded National Institute of Drug Abuse has said that no recorded deaths have been attributable to marijuana overdose. Various experts have also cast doubt on the coroner's claims, describing his conclusion as highly unlikely. A former senior policy advisor at the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy noted that if such overdoses were possible, the growing amounts of cannabis consumption in the U.S. would have likewise risen. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Odds are, if you've looked outside recently, you've noticed that all dogs everywhere are running. Scientists can't explain why all over the world dogs of every breed are running nonstop. I'm joined now by animal behavior expert Dr. Charles Davenport. Charles, what can you tell us?
All we know for sure is that the dogs are running fast.
But we don't know why the dogs are running?
There are a few reasons that dogs normally run. Because they're excited or scared, or they see something they want far away, or because they're happy. However, usually, they don't run at the same time or in the same direction.
Do we have any idea where the dogs are running?
West. All the dogs are running west.
Do we expect the dogs to ever stop running?
We don't know. Animal behavior can evolve over time. Maybe running forever is just what the dogs do now.
Dr. Davenport, is there any chance that the running dogs are somehow related to last night's blue meteor shower? Or the fact that horses are screaming?
Inconclusive.
Well, please keep us posted. Up next, where are all the children?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the second hour of the program. You can dial in toll-free here. We've been talking so far about proposals, and successful ones in the case of Oakland, California City Council voting unanimously to decriminalize the possession and even the manufacture or the growing of medical mushrooms, or not even medical mushrooms, just possession of mushrooms for recreational purposes or whatever. And they've made it the lowest police priority. That's a done deal. It happened. And that was, I think, earlier this week when that news came out. By the way, in the studio tonight, it's Ian here.
Rich.
And Mark.
855-450-FREE. If you want to join us, that's 855-450-3733. Maybe you want to share your comments on this. Maybe psychedelic mushrooms have helped you in your life. Perhaps.
Or maybe you think they desperately need to remain illegal.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be that guy.
We'd be happy to take those calls. It's harder than ever to get those sorts of callers on this subject, but they must exist. So if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So not only has Oakland done a good thing, but Denver voters actually passed a ballot measure to decriminalize. Again, these aren't legalization measures, they're decriminalizations, which lowers the police priorities on enforcing these things. In Oakland's case, they're not allowed to spend any city money either on these enforcements.
How does that work for prosecution then? Because even if they don't spend,
it's money, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even if they arrest you for it, they drop the charge.
They should have to drop the charge.
You can't spend any money on prosecution.
Right. They may get to confiscate the mushrooms at that point, but that may be all you lose in that circumstance. So the other news that's related to this, before we get into the story that you have, Richie, about the millennials and fixing things around the house.
Good times.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has filed a bill, and also another U.S. rep, Lou Correa from California, filed a separate amendment to all of this in a spending bill that would essentially make it easier for scientists to do studies on illegal drugs, which is very important because for so many years we didn't know really much of anything about the things that the government had deemed to be prohibited. It was just, nope, these are illegal, you'll be arrested, you cannot have them, you cannot test them, you cannot learn about them. That was the way it was.
Yeah. Now, this isn't government funding for psychedelic research.
It might turn into that.
No, it didn't. Actually, Mark, the statement here was that one of the things that what she's proposing removing is a rider that prohibits spending federal money for, quote, any activity that promotes the legalization of any drug or other substance in Schedule 1. So whether or not the study would promote the legalization, it could just be a study, but by the interpretation of whichever politicians, they could argue it's promoting legalization, and so therefore it wouldn't get funding. Look, to come back to what we said before, on this show, we're against government period, the coercive states, the government goons taking your money and giving it to science at all. I mean, I support science, but science should be supported on a voluntary basis. But the reality of it is a lot of these scientific studies in colleges, for instance, are funded through government grants and government money.
And you have the Democratic Socialists proposing it, which means she'll likely advocate for government funding going to promote the studies later, after. Right?
If they're going to spend the money on studying things, at the very least, they shouldn't be prohibited from studying these things. That's kind of the argument here. The money's there; it's going to get spent,
and it's going to be spent on scientific research, and some of that scientific research is dumb.
Some of it's total garbage.
But I'm against it.
Sure, but regardless, are you in favor of striking the prohibition on the funding? Even though you're against funding science with government,
scientists should be able to study whatever they want, and if they can't, they live under a dictatorship, probably a theocratic one.
Yeah. So, it's a nuanced position for a libertarian to take here, the idea that, we're against all government funding of scientific studies, but while they're going to be funding it, they ought to allow these studies to be funded in the same way that we're against government marriage, right? But while government is going to be doing marriage licenses, they ought to give those licenses to anybody who wants, any voluntary couple or triple or however many people want it, should be able to get that piece of paper.
And I don't like making that secondary argument personally, right?
The part that they should, if,
right,
when, and if.
The when and if, because whenever you do that, it turns into a situation where it's, the government is going to exist, and so while it's going to exist, here's all the programs that I think should occur. And the libertarian position should stop at, the government shouldn't be doing it, the government shouldn't exist.
I gotcha. That's the position. But when you're in a political role, which you wouldn't be because you would never run for office.
Right.
But, if you were Ron Paul, if you could put yourself in Ron Paul's shoes, now obviously he's not in the, the U.S. House anymore, but he was for a number of terms. If you were Ron Paul, you're Dr. No, you vote no on pretty much anything that is going to increase the size of government. This one doesn't really increase the size of government. The government is what it is. It has the money that it's going to spend on these things. So what would you do in that circumstance? You can either vote no, and the prohibition on these studies being funded would continue, which, as was pointed out earlier by the guy from the Drug Policy Alliance, that prohibition puts a sort of dampener effect, period, on people even being interested in these colleges and in doing these studies. So how would you vote?
Well, you have to look at the rest of the bill, because she's slipping this into another spending bill.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
So
let's say it was its own bill. Let's say it was its own bill. How would you vote on it?
If it's own bill, if you're putting me on the spot, if it's own bill, I'm always in favor of bills that remove restrictions on anything.
So the potential loss of federal funds has been held up by colleges as reasons they won't allow students to bring medical cannabis on campus. This was another thing that the other guy, Lou Correa, wants to strike, to allow colleges to receive funding if they have students on campus who are using cannabis for medicinal purposes. Right now, that's prohibited. According to the story, Ocasio-Cortez's Psychedelics Amendment is especially timely. Then they point out that Denver has approved their ballot measure, making their city the first in the nation to decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms. And then the Oakland story that we talked about earlier, they mentioned that. On Monday, the House Rules Committee, which prepares bills for action on the floor, will decide whether either or both of the drug policy reform amendments will be allowed for votes when the full body considers the funding legislation later in the week. While it remains to be seen if the chamber's new Democratic leadership will clear the amendments' advancement, their Rules Committee chairman has repeatedly criticized his Republican predecessor for blocking cannabis-related amendments and pledged that he would take a different approach. This is a man named James McGovern from Massachusetts. He said shortly after last year's midterm elections, quote, "I'm not going to block marijuana amendments like my predecessor has done. As the chairman of the Rules Committee, I'm not going to block them. People ought to bring them to the floor. They should be debated, and people ought to vote the way they feel appropriate." So this is just a proposed amendment. It may not even be included in the bill. This may be much ado about nothing, but at the very least, it's something.
It's being talked about.
It's a baby step. Yeah. It's being talked about, and really, that's all you can expect out of the federal government are, these little baby steps. Like when Trump did his sentencing reform bill, they literally called it like the baby steps bill or something like. There was some sort of very, insignificant name to this bill of reducing sentencing, madness and the punishments that are being dealt out towards people who have committed no violent acts. So I agree with you, Richie. We do need to applaud these people when they get something right. It's very rare that they will get something right.
And they're not going to get it perfectly right because they're politicians.
They definitely won't.
Yeah, and it seemed to me, especially at the beginning of his administration, there was a lot of repeals from the Trump administration on certain federal restrictions. I don't recall all of them offhand, but I was like, well, yeah, as long as he's rolling back the government, maybe not an applaud, but a golf clap, definitely.
Right. Unfortunately, he's probably bringing more government in certain areas, right?
And with the tariffs recently, he's going in the opposite direction of more freedom and liberty. And so,
there was an update on that story, by the way, with the Mexican tariffs, and we didn't really get in. We mentioned it last night, but we really didn't get into it. That is that Trump has announced that Mexico has agreed to crack down on immigration, and so therefore the tariffs will not be going into place.
Agreed in air quotes, because they can agree all they want. I don't think they've been very well done at actually stopping the immigrants.
There's a little bit more here that's related to marijuana reform, and it says here there's a separate bill funding other parts of the government for the next fiscal year, contains a provision to protect banks that serve marijuana businesses from being punished by financial regulators. And apparently that's already in whatever the other bill that is. It also deletes a longstanding rider preventing D.C. from spending its own local tax dollars to legalize and regulate cannabis sales. So there's a couple good things there for cannabis legalization to allow the banks to actually do business with cannabis companies. That'd be a huge change. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehash stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise. This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you ought to check out liberty.menu. It's a it is cool, but it's a tool for the libertarian and voluntarist community. It sure is. It's well designed, well programmed, easy to use. It's a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Basically, whatever it is you do, if you're a liberty-minded person, you want other people who care about freedom to know about it, just put it up on liberty.menu. It's free. There's no cost to add things to liberty.menu. If you want to spend something to, let's say, promote your thing that you do more than the rest of the items on the site, you can upgrade. But by default, the basic level membership is totally free at liberty.menu. And it's super easy to use and handy and programmed by somebody that we know. Actually, if you're going to Forkfest, you'll probably meet him. His name's Patrick. Liberty.menu. I'm sure we'll be interviewing him from the event as well as we have for the last few years. It's liberty.menu. You can use code FTL and get a special Free Talk Live listener badge there. Whatever you do, if you want people to know about it who care about liberty, that's the place that it should be listed. All right, so I think we've talked about the latest on, and the good news on, ending the war on drugs. Little baby steps are being taken all around the country in different places, and so I'm glad to see this happen. Hopefully we'll see a decriminalization bill coming up again in New Hampshire, and maybe we can convince some of the Liberty reps to put psilocybin in there.
Slip it in with the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what I had actually suggested to Mark Warden, who, of course, longtime listeners know is a sponsor of Free Talk Live. He's basically the Liberty real estate agent.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
Yeah, great guy, great real estate agent. Anyway, he's also a great state representative, and he's the guy who won the A+ rating, the Liberty Legislator of the Year award from the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance twice.
Nice.
Because he's that good. Like, he's the kind of guy who wears an anarcho-capitalist T-shirt, as a state representative, basically. So, I mean, he's not hiding it, what his beliefs are. Great guy. And so I wrote him an email earlier this year because the legalization bill this year failed. Actually, it's on the table. Technically, they kind of never pushed it through to the governor because they knew he was going to veto it. So they sort of kept it on the table through till 2020. I said, well, we know that the governor, who's a Republican in New Hampshire, so we got a Republican governor and a Democrat state house.
And
mostly Senate, I think, as well.
Yep. And executive committee.
Yeah. So, he's done some good things by stopping some bad legislation, from what I understand, like, gun control. I think he's going to be vetoing that stuff. But he also pledged to veto the legalization bill, which is stupid. But to the guy's credit, he also signed the decriminalization bill back in 2017 when his predecessor, who was a Democrat, refused to do so.
How bizarre.
Yeah, New Hampshire's different. The Republicans and Democrats don't fit into the standard molds here as much as they do in other places.
It's really the truth. I think the Democrats fit into the molds better than they do here than they on a national level. What I'm saying is the Democrats are more Democrat here than the Republicans are Republican.
Right. And so so again, the legalization bill basically was going to fail this year, so they didn't push it forward. And so I said, well, this governor has claimed that he supports decriminalization. He signed a decriminalization bill previously. Let's give him another decriminalization bill. Let's decriminalize manufacture of marijuana. Let's decriminalize distribution of marijuana. Because when they decriminalized possession, they only made it so people possessing less than 3/4 of an ounce would get a violation. So it would no longer be a misdemeanor arrestable offense, which is a good thing, but it was a baby step in the right direction. Let's make it so it's a ticketable offense if you get caught with a house full of marijuana plants. Let's make it so it's a ticketable offense if you've got 17 pounds of marijuana in the trunk of your car. So let's go further with decriminalization. Maybe, he doesn't want to legalize it, and I don't know this guy, right? I've never talked to the governor. Maybe he doesn't want to have a state regulatory body or whatever. Who knows what his real reasons are for opposing this? Or maybe he's just the police's lackey and he'll do whatever it is the cops want. But if that's the case, why did he sign the decriminalization bill? Because the cops sure as hell
to distinguish himself from the Democrat.
But the cops sure as hell didn't want that.
No, they certainly didn't.
He seems to do what the police
But he backed
want.
them on the death penalty thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So
he backed the cops when
that got overturned anyway.
A veto override.
Yeah.
So a bunch of Republicans voted against the governor on that one, and that got pushed through. And that's good. I'm glad to see New Hampshire has ended the death penalty. It's, I think, the 20-somethingth state to do that. It was the last state of all of New England's states to end the death penalty. So all right, well, if we're going to do a decrim bill, why not throw some psilocybin mushrooms in there too while we're at it?
Throw everything in there to see if he actually reads it. Decrim marijuana / all drugs.
Other plants.
In one
decrim marijuana plus other naturally growing substances.
Sure, something
right?
like that.
Yeah.
Well, he has people who read these things.
I'm sure he does.
Well, I've brought in stories where they've screwed up their entire thing and deregulated the
all of
the
Idaho, right?
All of Idaho, yeah. So
did they ever get around to re-regulating that?
I don't know. I have personally not followed up.
Yeah.
But
I did say Idaho, didn't I?
I heard Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to happen, but he knows the guy, Mark Warden, our friend and state legislator, Liberty legislator, knows the guy who proposed the legalization bill, the Democrat, and they get along really well. So I'm like, let's, bipartisan bill. Republicans, Democrats, both calling for decrim. Hey, if we can't get legalization through, it actually would be better to just keep decriminalizing it, right? Because if we could keep this is fantasy land, right? But if we could keep decriminalizing drugs to the point where there's no criminal penalty whatsoever, but there's also no legalized regulatory scheme on it,
right?
Wouldn't that be ideal?
Like the sale of tomatoes or something.
Exactly.
Sure.
Where you could go to the farmer's market and just start selling weed.
The Emporium.
Or the Emporium, or open up a store, or whatever. All right, so let's change gears here, Richie. You've got a story about millennials.
Oh my goodness!
And
yes,
everybody likes to talk crap about millennials.
People love to pick on the millennials. It's not fair, of course, because everybody's an individual, and we here on Free Talk Live acknowledge that everybody is an individual.
However, there are certainly things about younger people that make me cranky as a guy.
And that are true as a group.
48-year-old who's probably should be 68.
I say, you darn kids.
Hey,
get off my
68's
lawn.
the new 48.
You can declare it to be so. There was an article that one guy who decided to, he just decided he was younger than he was.
Really?
Self-described as, 20 years younger.
I had not heard of this article.
I will find it during the break for you.
I'm going to self-describe as 20 years younger than me, turn into a socialist and stop working.
Huh.
Become a beer and coffee snob.
You're better off being 20 years older then and just getting on Social Security and not working.
Well, the people on Social Security paid in. I don't care what y'all say about it. Yes, it's a crappy scheme, and yes, they're going to get ripped off in the long run, but they paid in.
All right. And this one goes even further. It's millennials against the boomer generation, because that's the other one people like to make fun of. Millennial dads have terrible DIY skills. Half don't own a stepladder or cordless drill.
Wow. I have terrible DIY skills, but at the very least, I own both stepladder, an actual ladder, and a drill.
Yes, but you don't have a cordless drill.
You know what? You're going to get better power out of a corded drill anyway.
I agree with that. I have a corded drill.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I have an extension cord.
Just get a damn extension cord.
God, you people don't know what you're talking about. Okay, look. So a cordless drill is also a driver. right? Like it puts screws in the walls
Right.
and things like that. A drill, if you try to use a drill to
Hold
do
that thought. More coming up here in moments. It is Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, live Sunday edition here. Whether you want to talk about drugs or drills, we can do it.
Impact drivers.
Yeah, and we're going to get into it here with your calls and thoughts. Also, welcome. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. You think it's too difficult. It sounds confusing. All this new cryptocurrency, technology, you don't know what you're getting into, but you know that people are talking about Bitcoin. You've seen it on the news. You've heard maybe some of your friends or family members talking about it, maybe over the dinner table or Thanksgiving or wherever. You've heard the discussions. And you know that other businesses have started taking it. Perhaps you heard the news about AT&T Wireless now beginning to accept cryptocurrency payments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash through their website for their wireless customers. This is a big deal. Some big companies are getting in on this, but also some mom and pops as well. So if you're ready to start accepting cryptocurrency at your point of sale, at your business, or maybe you're just an individual who wants to make it easy to take cryptocurrency from your friends or your customers, AnyPay makes it easy. In fact, just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. And our friends, by the way, are the founders and the operators over at AnyPay. Former co-host Derek J. Freeman.
They're co-hosts.
Well, yeah, former regular co-host.
Guest hosts.
Yeah, they're on once a month here because they're too darn busy doing productive things with AnyPay. You know.
Well, and it's a heck of a drive to Portsmouth.
Yeah, they live 2 hours away now. But helpmetakebitcoin.com. We'll be seeing them this weekend, though. In fact, they're coming up to Forkfest on Thursday. I talked to them about it today, so I'm sure I'm going to drag them over if they're not too busy building their what is purported to be a very awesome geodesic dome for the very first time, where they're going to be throwing parties at Forkfest.
Well, since I'm kind of handy, I'll go over and help them put that together.
Oh, are you coming on Thursday?
Bring your battery-operated tools.
Okay, cool. Glad to know you're going to show up. So that's day number 1 of Forkfest. You can go to forkfest.party to learn more about that. But anyway, if you want to learn more about accepting cryptocurrency, you can go through the very quick, I think it's a 4-step process. It's super easy. They say 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you, if your download is slow, it might take a little longer than that because you usually have to download a wallet, for instance, and download their software, the AnyPay app, to your device at your register. But the downloading is really the longest part of this. And once you download these things, it takes just moments to get them set up and get them rolling. It's super easy to do. It's even easier now than it's ever been. I was helping a local business, because local businesses here in the Keene area have been accepting cryptocurrency for years now. I mean, we're the crypto mecca here in Keene. And so one local business guy wanted to upgrade his crypto wallet to a different type of wallet. There's a bunch of these things. And so we needed to update his payment addresses in the back end of AnyPay. And it used to be that you had to log into an admin screen and copy and paste some addresses over there. And the admin screen was different from the app. Well, now it's all built into the app. You can just do it straight from the AnyPay app. So just download the AnyPay app from your Google or Apple App Store. And it is so easy now. It was easy before, but it's even easier now than it was, say, a year ago with AnyPay, because they just keep making it better. They keep improving the design, and it's still free as well to accept cryptocurrency payments through AnyPay. So really, there's nothing to lose here. It doesn't take much time at all. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. Get started over there with AnyPay, and you'll be accepting Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Zcash, and several others if you want. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. All right, you guys, we're going to talk about drivers versus drills. You and I, Richie, were saying that a cordless drill is inferior to a corded drill because of power issues. Mark, you disagreed with that.
He was going to school us.
Right. So
you did build your own house, so you know a thing or two about this.
Right. So what I would say is that a cordless drill is a more versatile tool.
Because it has no cord on it?
No. Because you can do more things with it, especially the kind of half-inch drill that you have, Ian. You've got the kind that you probably got.
What's the half-inch measure?
I don't really know. I think it's up to the size of the bit that it'll take, maybe. I don't know.
The diameter of the bit? It seems like it'll take...
It's the diameter of the piece that goes into the bit. So you can have a larger drill bit, but there's the shaft that slides into it as a half-inch. Mm-hmm. There's also, I think, 3/8 inches, the larger drill, and usually that's a hammer drill, and it's a bit bigger. And anyway, so that drill, when you attempt to, let's say, drive a screw.
Yeah.
Now, yes, an impact driver is a cordless impact driver is better than a cordless drill at driving a screw. However, if all you've got is the choice between a cordless drill and a corded drill, you're going to have a lot nicer day using the cordless drill than you will.
Because there's no cord on it? It's just easier to deal with?
No, it's not about the cord.
Well, what the hell's the difference?
It stops is the answer.
It stops.
When you take the drill, your half-inch corded drill that you think is fine for driving screws, however, you haven't drove a screw with it in forever.
Oh, actually, I have within the last probably several months.
Well, anyway, what happens when you go, it slowly ramps up, and then it drives, and then when you release the trigger, it slowly backs down, as opposed to a cordless drill which just stops.
Huh.
So it's the period of time between releasing the drill trigger and when the drill actually stops. I've tried to drive some screws and have driven some screws with your corded drill. However, you'll note when I have to, I bring over my own tools. I'm speaking as the person who's hung more than half of the shelves in this house.
Why would they? Why would it not stop on a corded drill?
It's just not designed for that. A corded drill is a tool for drilling holes, specifically your type, which you probably got from your dad when he upgraded back in 1995.
No, I got mine from the hardware store.
So are you distinguishing between a drill and a driver in the same argument?
I'm saying that a cordless drill acts as a far better driver than a corded drill does.
Huh.
However, there are certainly advantages to a driver if you can get them.
But if you had a corded driver,
that's a better tool, but only marginally better.
Okay.
Having both,
it wouldn't have the wind up, wind down problem that you're
absolutely
addressing.
not.
Okay.
I have a cordless driver and a cordless drill, and if I'm doing a job that requires drilling and driving, I'll just grab the cordless drill and do the job.
Okay.
If the driver's convenient, I will grab it, but it is not significantly better for the job. I like mine because it has an LED light and lights up.
Ooh.
Whoopie-doo!
Okay, well, that's interesting. So are you saying that no corded drill stops when it's...
Maybe the new ones do. I don't know. I don't use them for that. I use corded drills. Like, if I'm going to drill I'm going to drill concrete and put in tap cons, I'll get out my hammer drill and I'll get right in there and get that job done.
Okay.
But if I'm going to drill a hole in wood, I'm just going to use my cordless drill. I'm not going to bother with that.
Gotcha.
But you have to, the disadvantage to corded drills is they have lithium-ion batteries that sometimes catch your house on fire. And that's a real problem.
Well, and if you have again, this is what my contention was, if you have a large job, the changing out the batteries throughout the day is problematic in my mind.
Sure.
Whereas you run an extension cord, whether it's a corded drill or corded driver, right? As long as the power doesn't go off, you're going to have the same
I can't
torque
think of
and power going through the drill the entire
too
day.
many jobs that I've had to do just in life with a drill
that long
that have gone that I would have gone through a battery on that were wood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, concrete, I mean, it's just hard. I think.
Look, I'm not against battery operated things. I've got those battery operated. I've got a battery operated lawnmower, man, and it's awesome. Super quiet.
But you don't mow the lawn. What do you?
I did mow it once.
Okay, good.
Just to try it.
Okay.
But I hate mowing lawns.
Yeah.
I used to mow them in Florida, and when I moved up here, I said I'd never want to mow a lawn again.
Yeah.
You have a guy?
Yeah, I've got tenants.
Nice.
Who do that stuff. I'll buy the lawnmower. You mow the damn lawn. But I did mow it just because it was so neat. I wanted to try it out and see exactly how nice it was, and it was pretty sweet.
I may try one out now that I've moved to a different location.
You've got a lawn?
Yeah, small. It's small little. If you call it that, I mean.
Yeah, if you got a small lawn, the electric ones are perfect. The
I
battery
might just use
ones,
my weed eater.
Because
it's that small.
Because if it's too big of a lawn, you're going to end up having to change a battery, and you don't want to have to do that in the middle of a job.
That's why you get a gas lawnmower.
Yeah, but then you got to deal with all the problems of a gas mower where you got, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like anybody that's had a gas lawnmower knows how problematic they can be.
Wait, you don't, the people down south do not know how problematic they are because they don't pack them up for half a year and then the gas goes bad in them if you didn't put stabilizer fuel in. When I was in Florida, I still had to mow my lawn
in the wintertime.
Around the wintertime. I didn't have to do it nearly as often, but I had to do it. So I never had a problem of bad gas. Up here,
there's other things that go wrong with them, though.
Absolutely.
Well.
But they just don't know.
The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We got more on millennials and homework stuff coming up.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being. despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the show. You can dial in toll-free here and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Don't forget about the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. Is a way for you as a Free Talk Live listener to become a direct supporter of Free Talk Live, to help us promote Free Talk Live, get on more radio stations around the country. We have over 200 radio stations. Finally, we made that milestone within the last month, and it's thanks to listeners like you becoming amplifiers at amp.freetalklive.com. That's the website where you can learn more about it, what we spend the money on, what kind of cool perks you'll get as an amplifier. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. It's amp.freetalklive.com. You can use credit card, you can use PayPal, or Bitcoin BTC to get signed up. It's amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Dan. He's in California, and then more on millennials and failure of home repair here in moments. But Dan, you're up first. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, good afternoon or evening.
Welcome.
I just want to say that topic of drills was riveting. However, the whole break to come up with that. So,
Do you feel like we drilled down into the subject?
oh yeah, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna switch from lawnmowers to grass. Talk about weeds.
All right, cool. That's my favorite kind of grass.
Oh yes, it is. So there are some wonderful things about living out here in California. There's pros and cons of everything, and we don't have as much freedom as you guys do with like guns and small government. But out here in California, our niche is freedom, which is very wide. That lane is very small, but it is drugs. If you like drugs, California is your place. I just drove up from the Bay. I'm headed back to my home, and I just bought a couple of ounces of weed. I bought some edibles.
Sweet. What's an ounce of weed cost, and where'd you buy it, and what does it cost you?
I was at my girlfriend's house. I went to weedmaps.com, pressed the button. The guy was there in 15 minutes. I got a decent ounce for about $100.
You trust that? You trust that app?
What's it called? Weed Match?
Weed Map.
Weed Map. Weedmaps.com. Now, it's only good if you're in a legal state like California.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to work for you guys.
So is Weed Map hooks you up with delivery people? Is that what it does?
Right. Exactly. You go to weedmaps.com, you'll see a row of delivery people in your area, and then you just go on the app, select one.
Wait a minute. It's Weed Maps, plural. Hold on, just to clarify. It's Weed Maps, plural. WEEDMAPS. Okay, got it.
Be careful anyway, because I had a coworker who was using, I don't know if this is the one he was using, but he was using something similar. And I was like, dude, why are you giving the app your information? Like, there has to be a Fed on there somewhere.
Well, if it's legal, what's it matter?
Because again, it's not legal at the federal level.
Doesn't matter, dude. They're not going around arresting. They're not going around arresting weed smokers in California. It doesn't happen.
All right.
And that's my only point about the whole suicidal, switching to the same topic, the whole Oakland. If you've ever been to Oakland, you realize that this isn't, it's nice that they are making the mushrooms legal, but mushrooms on a scale of things that are important in Oakland should be like 9,999.
Right.
Their cops are corrupt. There's gangbangers. There's so many other things. Murder capital of California. That really, if you're worried about mushrooms in Oakland, their priorities need to get straightened out. They've got so many other things worse they can worry about. So I'm glad they moved in that direction, and I hope the rest of America moves in that direction. But unfortunately, like you guys were saying earlier, isn't it weird how hypocritical some of these Republicans and Democrats too, that claim to be for small government when it comes to things like guns, and will sign certain things for like guns to protect that, but they won't protect other Americans' rights for drugs. I want to take drugs and not hurt nobody.
Right.
We just had him on last night. Last night we were talking to a bunch of Republicans, and they were talking about, I support small government except the Customs and Border Patrol apparatus, which we need to make larger. And this agency has been successful at anything? I mean, this organizational model, the government itself has been successful. Why do you want to turn this over to the government? And the answer is because somebody else will have to deal with the inefficient and arguably evil organization, not me. So I'm fine with that.
Everyone has that one program that they want the government to take care of. And that's one of the big problems, because they're always advocating for that one thing that can't be done outside of the state apparatus. And everyone does it.
Right. And I'm a hypocrite myself, because I want the smallest government, because as a black person, I can tell you the people who suffer the most from big government are people of color. If cops aren't breaking in and shooting folks for doing cocaine in rich white neighborhoods, they do that in Oakland every day. They'll bust in and kick a door down. Oops, wrong house. Sorry, my bad. But the next house, got the address wrong. In Atlanta, same thing. Majority black neighborhoods. If we suffer from big government the most, so I'm an advocate of small government on every level, especially drugs. I don't need an excuse for them to pull me over. No, if everything in my car is legal, then what can you pull me over for? So leave me alone.
Your taillight's out.
Yeah, well, that's true. I've gotten that at the time.
Have you seen this conspiracy theory that if you call the black person calls themselves a Moor, that they can basically get out of everything?
The Moors.
You might get more of an ass kicking
I don't believe it, but I have seen a video where a guy pulls out a Moroccan flag and shakes it at the cops, and ultimately they did let his butt go.
Huh. Was it more confusion than anything else?
I don't know. I don't know. When I get pulled over by the cops, it's yes anything in the car? No, sir. Can you search the car? I'd prefer not to.
That's what I advocate for. I mean,
just a quick question. Do the black cops treat you any different?
Oh, they're worse. They got something to prove to the white cops. Yeah, they got to prove they're so on with them. I used to be a military police officer, and I wanted to become a cop until I realized who I was amongst. And I was like, ooh, no, this is a bad element, and I can't do it. So I went on to do other things. But, no, the black cops are worse than the white cops in a lot of places.
I think NWA said something about that in their epic song "F the Police" back in the day.
Absolutely.
Black police showing out for the white cops.
That's right. That's what they said.
Malcolm X probably laid it out the clearest in his discussions surrounding the House Negro. But
yeah. We got a lot of them. Ben Carson's and whatever her name is.
I'm not naming names. I'm just saying that there is a historical phenomenon.
No. Candace Owens. Who's the pizza guy? I can't remember his name.
Herman Cain. Yeah.
Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah, 999. Yeah, all of them. You can take them. We call them coons. You can have them. I don't want them.
It's okay. He can say it.
No, I'll be real with you. I've been listening to you guys for 10 years. I feel like we're friends. You guys signed over. You were going to do me an internship when I was up at San Jose State, and you guys are going to sign off on that, and I really appreciate that.
You worked with us.
Yes. So I'll tell you anything you guys want to know. I feel like we're family. You know what I mean? So
right on, man.
Whatever you want to know about the black community, I appreciate it.
I understand. There are things inside of that some black people choose to do, like call other black people coons, that I cannot live with.
So I'm looking at I want to go back to the weed discussion here. I'm looking at this Weed Maps, and it's a pretty nice site. Like, you can type in where you're at, and it'll show you what
you're going to give them your personal information.
What the legal. I didn't have to give them any information, just a search.
Okay.
It shows you like put in Keene, New Hampshire, and it shows you the medical dispensaries. It only shows you the legal options in your areas. It doesn't show you like some shifty dude down the street.
No, the app my buddy was using with like connected dealers and buyers. Like it wasn't wasn't legal medical dispensaries.
No, this is just legal. Well, I mean, if it's recreational, it shows you recreational if that's available, but it's not in New Hampshire yet. So if you put in California, then it shows you recreational. You're saying you got somebody to deliver you an ounce of good weed for $100? Where do you find that on this app? I'm seeing here in like San Francisco, $300, $270, $400 ounces.
Okay, because that's San Francisco, and that's why I don't live there anymore. I live in the Bay. I bought a house. My house in San Jose that I just moved out of was worth $1.3 million.
Jesus.
I had to split the rent with like 4 guys.
All right. Well, what city do I punch in here to find the ounce of weed for $100?
Castroville.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Where I live now.
Okay. All right.
Yep, and that's you'll find $100 specials. And I play this little game where I call dominoes first. I call my weed guy second, and I see who gets there first. Whoever gets there first gets a $20 tip.
Sometimes it might be the same guy.
Good call, Dan. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us tonight, and I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. We got a full hour to go. We still haven't really gotten into your story yet, Richie.
We only got through the headline.
About the millennials and their lack of cordless drills and stepladders and such. We'll get into that here.
Why do they want to ruin everything?
And your calls and thoughts are welcome. 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live's Live Sunday show.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,341, silver at $15, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,041. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, the Federal Government Accountability Office has issued an update to its 2016 report on the FBI's use of facial recognition. The takeaway, which they also shared during a Congressional House Oversight Committee hearing, the FBI now has access to 641 million photos, including driver's license and ID photos, but it still refuses to assess the accuracy of its systems. Activist Post reports that the FBI's Facial Analysis Comparison and Evaluation Services Unit not only has access to FBI's Next Generation Identification Face Recognition database of nearly 30 million civil and criminal mugshot photos, it also has access to the State Department's visa and passport databases. The FBI has done little in the last 3 years to make sure that its search results are accurate, according to the new report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Metropolitan Police in London have arrested 4 teenagers involved in a reprehensible attack on 2 women who were left bloodied and hospitalized after being taunted for their sexuality. The Mind Unleashed reports the 4 males, aged 15 and 18, are being questioned on suspicion of robbery and aggravated grievous bodily harm or severe assault. That's according to a statement by the Met Police. Melanie Gaymanet, a 28-year-old Ryanair stewardess from Uruguay, shared a photo on Facebook of herself and her girlfriend Chris after they were assaulted by a group of men who began shouting at them and throwing coins. The couple had just gone on a date in Camden and were returning home early on May 30th when the 4 men began demanding they kiss each other in front of them. When the 2 refused to share an intimate moment for the entertainment of the hooligans, the young men and teens beat them, leaving them with serious facial injuries before also stealing their belongings. Hate crimes on the mass transportation network of the UK have doubled over the past 5 years, according to British Transport Police data. In what would be the first case of its kind, a Louisiana woman allegedly died from a THC overdose after vaping a large amount of cannabis oil. The Mind Unleashed, citing the New Orleans Advocate, reports that the otherwise healthy 39-year-old collapsed and died in her LaPlace apartment in February due to high levels of THC. the main psychoactive compound in cannabis. That's according to St. John Baptist Parish Coroner Christy Montague. The woman had healthy organs and no symptoms of illness or elevated traces of alcohol and drugs in her body. While THC can cause heart palpitations and extreme anxiety in some users, the federally funded National Institute of Drug Abuse has said that no recorded deaths have been attributable to marijuana overdose. Various experts have also cast doubt on the coroner's claims, describing his conclusion as highly unlikely. A former senior policy advisor at the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy noted that if such overdoses were possible, the growing amounts of cannabis consumption in the U.S. would have likewise risen. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
During a curt Skype session earlier this afternoon, local Williamsburg resident 29-year-old Cormac Flanagan reminded his mother to, quote, try and be more careful after she forgot to pay his cell phone bill.
Mom, the phone company called today about my cell phone bill.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
No, Mom, I'm not mad, but you have to stay on top of these things, you know.
I know,
You can't keep waiting until the last minute like this. Well, I don't want to have to keep reminding you every month. You know, I need my phone. I use it every day. I need my phone. I'm constantly using it.
I'm so bad. I'm really sorry. I'll get on it today.
All right, you know, just so you know, this really easy thing you can do. You know, there's this online auto pay. It just deducts from your bank account every month.
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
easy.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's fine.
I know how to do it.
It's fine. Just don't let it become a pattern. You know, I know you can do better than this.
Okay. I promise. I'll get on it today. Okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. We do a talk show all 7 nights a week, and you're free to join us here. Take control of the airwaves. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can hop into one of those. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here with us in the studio at discord.lrn.fm. It's a free chat app where listeners are in there basically around the clock. There's different rooms in which you can discuss different topics. Everything from cryptocurrency to gaming to New Hampshire, which is where we're located. There's a big libertarian migration that has been moving here for years, so some cool stuff happening here. But we'll talk to you on the radio at 855-450-FREE. We got to get into this story, Richie, that you brought in here tonight. It's Ian, Richie, and Mark in the studio about millennials and apparently their lack of ability to do so much as own a cordless drill.
Or a stepladder.
We'll get into that coming up here, but your calls and thoughts come first. So let's go over to Vermont, where Ron is listening on the TuneIn app. Ron, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Ron. You're on the air.
So, I was wondering, do you guys think that abortion violates the non-aggression principle? In your opinions, why or why not?
Oh, God. I'm going to say no, because I don't think a fetus is a real human being.
I'm going to say yes, because human life starts at conception because it has 36 chromosomes. You're not going to give me no one's going to give me the power to go out and snuff out the lives of people that I don't think are worth having on the planet. So no one else should have that power if I don't have it. However, that being said, I don't think it's a good idea to force people to criminalize it and force people to have children that they don't want.
I'm going to say yes, along with Mark, but the Institute of Justice, not the organization Institute of Justice, but creating a just outcome is way too difficult for it to be made illegal.
There you go, Ron. Thanks for the call. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That is one issue that you will never get people to agree on.
I also think it's not a libertarian issue, for just the reason you just heard. It's about when a person believes life begins. And some people don't even believe life really begins until, like a kid's like 6 or something. And, okay, libertarians believe in the protection of life, liberty, and property, but at the same time, you got to determine when life begins.
All right, let's get back into the millennials' life and their apparent lack of any kind of household ability whatsoever.
We'll say DIY skills, because that's the way the article has it.
Where's the story from, by the way? What is the source?
Zero Hedge, I think?
Zero Hedge. All right.
Always good. When it comes to simple tasks like changing tires, unclogging toilets, or resetting a tripped circuit breaker, millennial dads are terrible compared to their own fathers, according to new research.
I can reset a circuit breaker.
My dad is a high bar to have reached. I wouldn't say that I'm as good as I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen Xer. My father was born in 30.
Oh, wow.
And 1930.
Yeah.
And that guy could.
Your real father?
My biological father?
Yeah, because you're adopted.
But I know so little about my biological father.
Okay, I wasn't sure which one you're talking about.
The guy I grew up
Gotcha.
with, my adopted father, was extraordinarily handy.
Yeah.
But, didn't like to finish tasks. But if it was a small task, he would.
So wait, what was the list? It was changing a tire? And...
there's a lot. This one was unclogging a toilet, changing a tire, resetting
they can't unclog a toilet.
So we'll go through this because there's a poll. But I will say
technically I don't believe that I'm a millennial because I'm sort of on the cusp of it.
Cusper.
You're the Zennial.
I identify as
it's not a Zennial.
Gen X.
Oh, no.
Identify,
it's an Exial.
I've heard it called Zennials.
It's not. That would be a Zennial would be somebody who would be a Z, right?
No.
X.
It's with the X.
Like
between
xylophone.
X and between X and millennial.
Call it an Exial because a Zennial then gets one thinking that it's
on
Gen
the other
Z.
side. I see.
There's also Gen Z, right?
Well, call it an xylophone then if you're talking about
And you kind of are basically in the millennial camp, but on the older side.
Yeah, so I'm allegedly 37, so I'm on the older side of the millennial cusp.
It's like we were talking about earlier. These arbitrary divisions are just that. They're completely arbitrary. Obviously, you and I have more in common than a millennial who's 20.
Yeah, it's true.
Or whatever the younger side. I think the younger side of millennials is around 20 right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like 97, 98, somewhere in that range is sort of considered the end of
because that's when
millennials.
the millennium hit, right? That's kind of where they got it from. They were born around the turn of the millennium. But yeah, and to Mark's point, like I'm much less handy than both my father and my stepfather.
I'm near useless, but at least I can do some of the things that are on this list with no problem
I am
whatsoever.
not nearly useless. Just like my dad, my real dad, and my grandfather built race cars. Right. I'm not. That's not going to happen. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So I have totally no interest in that.
Wow.
But helping out with fixing stuff around the house.
Right.
I'm a great assistant.
Honey, this thing's broken.
I can do it.
Right. Or I need this shelf put up or something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, I helped build my own house, so I'm in pretty good shape as far as that goes. But honestly, frame carpentry isn't any big deal.
Yeah. I surprised my mom one time by putting stuff together.
Plenty of construction guys drink on the job, so obviously it can be done.
Yeah, but they're not cabinet makers,
and they have the skills to do it. Right, that's another one of those things. Like if you can drink and get the job done, by all means, have one. A poll of 1,000 millennial dads and 1,000 baby boomer dads conducted by one poll on behalf of Alarm.com reveals that the younger generation prefers to call in professionals when it comes to a range of DIY tasks ranging from basic plumbing to assembling furniture. So we'll play this little game.
Assembling furniture.
Sure.
I can do that too.
There's somebody you can call to assemble furniture?
Yeah. Yeah, they call it the gig economy now, Mark. It's not just it's not just like, driving somebody somewhere. I was reading an article about the gig economy, and it showed a guy who was like an assembler who you would, there's some app for that. You get something at IKEA and you bring up the assembler app or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but because I've never used that, I can put furniture together or a chair or whatever.
I have a customer at my regular job whose his real job is a truck driver, but he also sharpens knives on the side. So
that's all. I mean, a knife that's sharpened by a professional is a better job. I don't care where you come from, but they have some really good handheld knife sharpeners that you can get these days.
Yeah,
but I can't. But
he'll come and do it.
I mean, really, there are people who can't unclog their own toilet. Like, I get it if you put something down there that's a serious problem, but your typical clogged toilet you can usually handle, right? Apparently they can't.
Right, as a plunger.
I've clogged enough where I know how to do it myself.
Right.
I'm just so stunned that there's a person that will come and put together IKEA furniture or something like that. I've just never heard of this before.
Well, it shouldn't be stunning to you. I mean, when I was a younger
I guess
person,
it shouldn't be stunning to me.
When I was younger, and I was working at the electronics department in Kmart, I would frequently make a little bit of money on the side by taking like a VCR or something that an old lady would purchase and installing it for her at her house. I don't want to install this. I don't know how or whatever. For me, it's like 5 minutes, bing, bang, boom, done. $20 in my hand, and I'm going home.
Well, when I worked in Sarasota, my last job was at a lifestyle magazine in Sarasota. They got a whole bunch of chairs in. Everybody got new chairs in the office, and I stayed late the day that they came in, and I put them all together.
Wow. Okay.
And because, I knew that my boss, being a bit younger, and just one of those guys you can tell, right? He's just not good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll get this done real quick, and I, spent the evening doing that rather than whatever boring, pointless thing I would do at home. And he always would help me with a computer or take care of the sort of things that blink problems that I have. I don't like dealing with those things. So I did all that, but I'm just like, are you kidding? We could have had somebody, and I policed all the light bulbs in the office. Oh, this light bulb's out, and it's like, what are we going to do about that? I'm going to go to Home Depot and I'm going to get you another one.
I got to say, this article is making me feel less useless. I'm feeling good now.
I used to be the electronics guy with home stereos and that sort of thing, disassembling them and then putting them back together for clients as well. That was my area.
We got more on the way here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More details on millennials and putting stuff together or not. It's Free Talk Live.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehash stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Hey, it is Free Talk Live. You dial on in here toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Just jump into any one of those. We'll get you on the air, and you can talk about whatever is on your mind. That's discord.lrn.fm. Mark, tell me about the mortgage business.
Yeah, right. American Financing is sponsoring Free Talk Live these days, and I love American Financing. Compared to the other mortgage companies, they are they're pretty awesome. Family owned and have been for a long time. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and that's hard to find these days.
Now, they help you find a mortgage, right? They don't actually give you the mortgage.
Well, that's what a broker does.
Right.
And their brokers are salaried as opposed to commissioned, so they're not out there looking for the loan that will benefit them the most. They're out there looking for the loan that will benefit you the most. They don't charge upfront fees like some lenders do, and they offer pretty much every loan in the industry, so FHA, VA, conventional, ARMS, jumbo, USDA, whatever it is that you need, evening and weekend hours to meet your schedule. Takes 10 minutes to get started in a telephone, or you can do their digital mortgage, where you can apply, receive your pre-qualification, and close your loan doing everything online with American Financing's digital mortgage. It's the complete mortgage process on your schedule, anytime, anywhere. You can apply online and meet the pre-qualification letter instantly, and you can start shopping tomorrow. It's AmericanFinancing.net. I've got to give you their NMLS number, the 182334. And it's the www.mlsconsumeraccess.org, AmericanFinancing.net. And you can give them a call at 888-804-0303, 888-804-0303, AmericanFinancing.net. If you're looking to get a mortgage, or looking for a home, because nobody's looking for a mortgage, but he's looking for a home. They do refis. I guess you'd be looking for a mortgage at that point. Then you really should get a second opinion at the very least. AmericanFinancing.net, 888-804-0303.
So, Richie, you've been sharing with us the story about millennials, comparing them to previous generations. Specifically, in this case, they talked to baby boomers.
Baby boomers, yes.
And specifically, we're talking about men, for whatever reason, right?
Well, stereotypically, dads are the ones who do the housework, the repairs and whatnot around the house.
Maybe so. But it would be interesting to hear, the women on this one as well, because we got Vaginitarian in our chat room says she's a millennial and she does home repair. So, not everybody sticks to the stereotypes.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't make that the claim that they do, but it is fun. It's fun for the older generation of guys to look on the younger generation of guys and say, ha, ha, what a bunch of incompetent boobs. And I'm sure it's been done all along,
Yep. Fix my iPad.
So, where are we at here with this story?
I can't turn this iPad on.
Yes.
Right.
I want to go through some of the questionnaire questions with you guys because I think it'd be fun.
I used this iPad for 2 days and it worked fine and then it just stopped working. Did you plug it in, Dad? What do you mean?
No, wait a minute. Did you tell us before what the percentages were generally as far as the results? Did that come already, or does that come after the questions?
I can go question by question because there's certain results. The results are in the questionnaire, and then there's more.
But overall, was there like an overall? Breakdown?
Overall, the baby boomer generation is more handy around the house. I mean, that was
by what does it show you by what percentage as far as was it 70% for the baby boomer dads versus 30%?
I want to say 15 to 20% more based on the numbers.
So pretty big discrepancy.
Pretty big discrepancy on these categories, and then there's more. So here we go. Can you change a car wheel at the side of the road?
A tire or a wheel?
It says car wheel, but change it. The wheel is going to be attached to the tire.
Okay.
Ian has just revealed that he knows F all about car tires. Okay.
So that's a no for Ian.
To change a tire, mister, you would need a big, complicated, dangerous device. Right. To change a wheel, you need a lug wrench and a jack.
Yeah.
Okay, the wheel is the metal thing.
I know what a wheel is. That's why I asked, dummy.
Okay, nobody changes a tire on the side of the road. Although they will call it changing a tire.
They say that they do.
Right.
Yeah. I know what the difference is, Mark, even though I don't know much about cars.
That you even had to ask makes you look bad.
Can you do it?
No.
Nobody can change a tire on the side of the road.
Well, the question says wheel.
Of course I can change a wheel.
Okay, all right.
If Ian gets a flat tire and I'm in there, God knows who's going to be out there changing the tire.
Okay.
Hold the wrench, Ian.
63% millennial, 79% boomer.
Okay.
Answer that question. Reset a tripped circuit breaker.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
54% millennial, 85% boomer.
Wow.
That's incompetence.
Flip a damn switch.
You got to know where the switch is. And
it's the one that's off.
Yeah. You can tell
Can
who's
you find
renting.
the circuit breaker box in your place?
You can tell who's renting and tell who's living at the parents' house.
Yeah, true.
Who sits there in the dark waiting for the landlord to come over and trip the switch?
Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they're living in cities where a superintendent will take care of it.
Could be. Yeah, you don't have access to in that case.
The place that I was renting in Hawaii, the main circuit breaker was in the main part of the house. I did not have access to it.
Yeah.
So if that did come up, like there were certain things
You'd
that I
have
could
to call,
I would have to go knock on the landlord's door and have them do that. But
ring, ring.
But knowing that I could do it, is different. Jumpstart a dead car battery.
I can do that.
Good for you, buddy.
And have done it.
Yeah.
All right, 63% millennial.
Had to start a truck I had a truck that you almost had to start that way.
Really?
So
I even have jumper cables too, so I can help people when they need it.
Every vehicle.
Side story, real quick, on how handy my grandfather was. He used to hotwire his car every morning.
Wow!
Because the ignition thing broke.
That I cannot do.
So he rigged up a switch.
It a Ford?
Honda.
Can you even do that these days with like the newer cars? Is it?
No.
It's not like in the movies where they like pop the the steering wheel column
I don't think they
open.
steal cars anymore, do they?
I don't. Well, they must.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they do.
Probably just because somebody leaves a key in it or something like that.
But he had a switch rigged up in the passenger foot panel of the car that you had to turn the switch down below.
So you had to know what
you had to know, and then he had alligator clips bolted to the dashboard that you had to spark on the dash to start the car.
Wow,
very handy on that. So jumpstart a car, dead car battery, 63 millennial, 86 boomer. Unblock a toilet or sink.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, not anymore. I finally got a really good toilet to where I don't have to anymore. But I actually feel bad. Like, if I'm ever in a hotel and I clog the toilet up, they don't have a plunger there, so I can't do the job.
You have to call.
Like, I feel bad if I have to call somebody about
the little
it.
maid service lady.
I'm actually pretty good at it. I don't mind, dirty jobs like that. Doesn't bother me at all.
Wash your hands when you're done.
Yep.
Yeah. 65% millennial, 86.
65% millennials could unclog a toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
86 boomer generation. Restart a stopped furnace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some things that can get complicated there, but generally, yes.
I guess I
can't go in and like, tool around inside the engine or something like that, but flipping the power, that's no big deal.
I have a furnace right now. It's never gone out. I have only had it for a short period of time this one winter. I've never had to do that because prior to this, I was heating my previous house up here with wood. So I don't know how to do that. I have somebody I can call and get on the phone with, and they would walk me through it.
This is the closest one. 38% millennial, 44% baby boomer.
Are there more?
There's one more.
All right, more coming up here. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
In addition to creating a Twitter account, Pope Benedict XVI plans to further connect with Christian youth by giving up on Catholicism. Quote, in order to really relate to modern teens, he needs to make religion a much smaller part of his busy life, just like they do. And it's already working. Tweets like, "Can someone go to church for me, LOL, hashtag sleeping in," have been retweeted over 1 million times by lazy Catholic teens, while tweets like, "If God was real, how come there's so much murder?" and "I'm still Catholic, I just don't go to church or believe in Jesus," have been especially successful with college students who are questioning the church's teaching.
It's really cool to see that the Pope is as active on social media and as skeptical about God as I am. Look, he just tweeted, "I'm not religious, I'm spiritual." That's totally how I feel.
Pope Benedict's aides say his next project involves reaching out to Muslims by sitting down with Islamic leaders and proclaiming his undying allegiance to Allah.
This is the Onion News Network.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live and the Live Sunday edition. We will take your calls and thoughts about what you want to discuss. It doesn't have to be the difference between millennial dads at home versus baby boomer dads and their lack of ability in a lot of cases to do some of the most basic household upkeep tasks. With you tonight, it's Ian here.
Richie Rich.
And Mark.
I want to tell you about the Edge wallet. It is the wallet that I use more often than any other for cryptocurrency. It is an excellent one, and I used it long before as my primary wallet. I used it long before they became a sponsor here on Free Talk Live. In fact, that's part of the reason why they're sponsors here, because we're big fans of Edge wallet here on Free Talk Live. I just used mine tonight to pay for my meal at the Libertarian social meeting that we have every Sunday here in Keene at Local Burger. Anyway, you can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies in Edge Wallet. And it's your money, so you're in control. In fact, you're so in control, Edge Wallet can't recover your password for you. So you got to take it really seriously.
Well, they can if you set it up to do that.
Have you done that yet?
Yeah.
And what is that process like? I've never done that.
It's not that hard. I mean, it's just you just let them hold secure your username and password.
Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's my understanding.
They're holding it, because I thought that they didn't.
I think they can recover it in some way.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to learn more about how that works.
I guess.
Mark, because I don't know how that works. But anyway, generally with cryptocurrency wallets, you got to take your security very seriously.
You should anyway.
Yeah.
It supports a bunch of different cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens on the Ethereum platform, Monero, Ripple, the original Bitcoin, of course, Stellar, and more. You can go to edge.app to learn more about the app. You can also download it from your iOS or Android app stores. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Edge.app is their website. And maybe I should try this recovery process. That way I can actually, speak about it, because I don't know if that's a newer feature that they have there, but they're really easy to use wallet. It's super easy to get into. It's username and password based rather than a more complicated backup situation that some of the other wallets have. So check it out at edge.app as we continue here. So I think you said there was one more question left on the quiz, Richie?
Yeah, and then some more statistics if you want to get into it.
Yeah, please. Let's hear the differences between the millennial dads and the baby boomer dads.
So I imagine the Generation X dads are probably somewhere in the middle of these two statistical,
I suspect you're right, yeah.
Bubbles.
Open a stuck pickle jar using only your hands.
Okay, so this is one that's been around for a little while.
This is the reason why men exist, right?
Well, no. Well, look, men's grips are decreasing over time because there's fewer and fewer of them that do physical labor.
I see.
And
yeah, but generally men have greater upper body strength than women.
Sure. But there are, I mean, if the only reason to have a man around is to open a jar now and then, ladies, get one of those little rubber grippy things, and you'll be fine.
Awesome.
They give you a far less flack. They don't drink as much, and they won't hit you. It won't hit you.
Yeah, there's another one. Another secret to it is you can run it under warm water or hot water, and that loosens it. It makes it easier.
You can kind of pliable. Give it a little beating on the top. You don't want to dent it or anything, but just kind of pound on it a little bit, and it releases the seal.
Is that right?
And you can move it. But my favorite was when Renee, who is Ian's ex, needed a jar open. She'd walk into the studio, hand it to me right in front of Ian. I'd pop it open and hand it back to her.
So Mark is a yes. Along with 59% millennials and 81% boomers. can open a pickle
I don't
jar.
have trouble opening jars.
So every once in a while, my wife will have trouble with a jar, and if she has trouble with the jar, I'm going to have trouble with that same jar. She's already tried something. She's gotten it wet because she had a wet hand on it. I'm going to have to dry it off. It's not going to be a quick, open. If she's had trouble with it, I know that it's not going to be the easiest jar in the world. So I'll have to get out something. But at the very least, it's
then
my
there's
job.
more pressure on you to get it done too.
It's true.
All right.
It doesn't feel good to be handed a jar and you can't open it. Yeah. It's got to feel worse to have your girlfriend hand it to some other guy.
When brute force doesn't work, try brute force. Millennial dads are less likely to own ordinary house tools that older dads would consider essential. 48% of millennial dads say they don't own a ladder. 46% don't own a cordless drill. 38% don't own a set of screwdrivers. And 32% don't own a hammer.
Wow.
What do you need a hammer for?
Two
when you
hammers.
Just go to rock from the yard.
I had 2 hammers and I've lost them. I don't know if it's because I loaned them out or what happened to them.
That's what happens to
I was
tools.
looking for one recently.
Well, I've got so many hammers at my house, I could probably bring you one.
One of them's probably mine.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. I needed a hammer so badly, I took one of yours
and never returned it.
I don't know. I think Rich
neighbor.
might have. I think Rich might have bought or borrowed one of them because I asked, and he said he had one next door.
All right. Here's where it gets into the millennial defense. Millennials, in their defense, say that modern technology, such as smart locks and doorbell cameras, require more expertise than installing their old school equivalent. High-tech upgrades like smart home technology require professional support, especially safety and security upgrades.
But none of that has to do with flipping a breaker or unclogging a toilet.
That's true.
They don't have a third of them don't have a screwdriver set.
Yeah.
I don't even understand this. I have a screwdriver set and I have a tool set on every floor of my house.
Yeah.
Just so that I don't have to go downstairs into the basement.
I've got a screwdriver in here because I use it often enough.
Right.
It's one of those ones with the switchy bits in it.
Yeah, that's great. It's nice and convenient.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk all the way to the tool shed or wherever you keep them in order to get your stuff, and then you don't have to bring it back when you're done. It's got a place
I got a drawer
right there.
of tools in the next room, and then more tools in the back.
Yeah,
it's good to have a little bit, at least little home repair toolkit somewhere. So here's where the boomers and the millennials agree. 79% of millennials, 74% of boomers say that the definition of a handy dad has changed over the years. According to Alarm.com, 2/3 of boomer dads admitted that millennial dads may have the edge when it comes to tech tasks around the home.
I question that.
Really?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the Zs, the Generation Zs or something like that, but a lot of these young people, they don't know a whole lot about technology.
Well,
they might be able to use their iPad or whatever, and might be able to get on Wi-Fi or something like that, but you get into some of the technical, side of repairing computers, they can't do it.
This is dads, so you're talking about somebody who's probably over the age of 25, maybe even over the age of 35 as a millennial here.
At that point, you're starting to get out of the millennial range if you're getting over 35.
Fine. I would trust them to do many of the tasks, like setting the smart thermostat and things like that, if that's what we're talking about, that they might be better off at that. Okay.
Having the professional come in and install the smart thermostat first and knowing what button combination to push.
We had this...
My millennial tenants have had me program their thermostat.
But they're not dads. And something happens when you're a dad.
I don't know why that makes a difference, but okay, fine. Go ahead.
Something happens when you're a dad. Okay. You then become responsible for something new.
You have to teach that tiny human how to follow in your footsteps.
Well, when my wife got pregnant, my world changed, and you're not going to understand that until that happens to you.
Not happening.
Well,
I have a vasectomy.
Could happen to you.
No,
you could get into a relationship, and you guys could choose to adopt.
Stepdad.
And what's that?
Stepdad.
Now, Ian's not qualified to raise any human beings.
Well, he could get into a relationship with someone who's already birthed a child.
That's possible, yeah.
All right.
Not likely.
While quick to master new tools like apps and mobile technology, this is the interesting part. Today's time-pressed dads are also faster to outsource time-consuming home maintenance to professionals who have the tools and training to get the job done right.
And quickly.
No doubt. I don't want to learn, obviously I can do the basic stuff, most of it that was mentioned in this article, but as far as put a new window in or, any kind of actual home repair task, it's I'm not stupid. I could learn how to do things. I just don't want to spend the time to do it.
I think that's a big part of it, right? Even like I work at a restaurant, and I think I don't cook a lot at home, but my parents did. Right, there were home meals all the time, and I was I talked to my mom about it, and it was like, does it seem like my generation or even the current next generation, whatever you want to call that, doesn't take the time to cook a meal at home? And it just seems like we eat out more often than our parents did, or that generation. And part of it is because it's cheap enough to eat out as it would be to compile a whole meal in some situations.
Not generally. It's never cheaper. Almost never cheaper to eat out. But
depends where you go and what you get.
Regarding Ian's declaration of "I'm not stupid," I have the greatest home repair story that I did. That really does make me look quite stupid. You got to hear it in the next segment.
Okay, 855-450 free. It's Free Talk Live.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much? $92,000. Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Even in these remaining moments, we may have enough time for you if you call now. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Earlier this week, Bitcoin.com launched their brand new website, local.bitcoin.com, which allows you to trade Bitcoin Cash. You can buy Bitcoin Cash or sell it to people who might want to buy it from you. And you can do it with, I counted it today, close to 3 dozen different payment methods. Now, not all of them are going to be, right for you or based in the U.S., but there's dozens of payment methods there. Everything from PayPal to Venmo to bank deposits to remittances or just meeting somebody in person with cash and selling or buying Bitcoin Cash from and to them. Also, one of the key differences between local.bitcoin.com and those other sites that allow you to buy and sell cryptocurrency is there's no know your customer requirements. There's no invasive identification requirements when you sign up for the site. The site does not care who you are because they don't hold your funds at any point. And they also are cryptographically secure as far as their encrypted communications between buyer and seller. So when you're talking to somebody from whom you're buying or with whom you're selling, the site itself cannot read that conversation, which means that if somebody subpoenas the site to try to read your conversations, they can't because it's encrypted. So check them out over at local.bitcoin.com. They got low fees, and it's open, of course, 24/7. It's a global marketplace for buying and selling Bitcoin Cash at local.bitcoin.com. Richie, you're sharing with us a story from, what was it?
Zero Hedge.
Zero Hedge.
Yep.
And it's about the differences between baby boomer dads and millennial dads.
And their do-it-yourself skills.
Well, I was going to tell a story, about, looking stupid. So I had this this convertible. It was a Toyota Celica. And
we back in Florida? This is up here, right? You had the Celica up here, didn't you?
Briefly.
Yeah.
This occurred in Florida in my friend's driveway.
Okay.
The top, when I got the car, was, a little less than nice. It was a convertible, as I had previously said, sorry. But it would have been nice and easy to repair if we could have just somehow...
Is this the one that the druggie cut open in downtown?
That was the BMW.
Sarasota? Okay, sorry. That's an old story you've told before.
Yeah, I always leave my doors unlocked to convertibles because anybody can find a knife. There's no point in locking a door on a convertible. Mm-hmm. But apparently that didn't work because some stupid a-hole who wanted the change in my ashtray decided to cut the top before pulling on the door handle. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Way to be inconspicuous.
Yeah. So anyway, this top needed some kind of way to be attached to the glass. It had kind of come unglued, and I thought, well, rather than trying to find the right glue and making this work, what if we just riveted this thing down? Kind of put a little hole, just get a glass drill bit and go through this tempered glass and just put a couple of holes in here. We'll put it in and put some glue in, and it'll hold it in real nice, and everything will be fine.
Cordless drill bit driver, I'd assume, as well.
Yeah, it was cordless. And, my good friend Julian, he and I were there, and he's like, well, it's worth a try, right?
Sure.
Because basically the people at the convertible place, they wanted me to get a whole new thing with a new glass. You couldn't just buy new glass or whatever. And we could have tried repairing it with glue, but then again, we didn't know much about glue, so we were going to try it with this. So we got the little drill bit from Home Depot and we began making the drill hole and then look at each other. Hey, this is kind of working. It's kind of working. It's drilling a little bit into the glass and then poof.
The entire glass shattered.
There it goes and it falls into little pieces.
That's tempered glass, right?
Right. Right into the car. And yeah, we really felt bad on that one.
So what'd you end up doing then?
Vacuuming it out with a wet dry vac.
Yeah.
And then buying a new top, which is probably what was going to ultimately happen.
Did you have some to replace the glass as well?
Well,
that was part of the top.
That's part of the
built
top.
Into the top.
That was already a problem, right. So the loss wasn't that great.
I gotcha. Just a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah. All right. So was there more of the wrap-up?
Not much of the wrap-up. The wrap-up was basically just that They outsource their home maintenance to professionals who have the tools, and that allows them more time to spend with the people that they love in their lives. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. But my God, calling somebody in to plunge the toilet. I mean,
I guess it's
really?
the super, right?
Well, if they're renting, yeah. I mean, if you're the millennial homeowner dad,
man, I want that sucker done then. I don't want to be waiting around.
I don't want to bring somebody in and show them the results of what it was that caused the whole thing to jam up in the first place. That's embarrassing.
but economically, the division of labor here in the millennials, right, quite strong because they just hire people who know what they're doing and hire the experts. And
bring me a J Noon if I need some real homework done or whatever. He can get it. He can get her done.
There you go. And which allows you to ply your trade,
right,
and earn the money to pay him. In areas
otherwise, I got to learn stuff I don't want to learn that I'll never have to use again, right? Unless I go into that trade.
Yeah, if you have the if you're destroying time in your business in order to do some home repair task or whatever, then yeah, I get it. But if you don't have that,
a breaker,
if you're at home and it's Saturday and you're choosing whether or not to sleep in, watch the game, go fishing, or do this home repair task, recreation has its value. However, my wife isn't going to see it that way. She's going to be like, "You're not doing anything today. Get your butt to work. I have a list of things that need to be done."
Let's go to
the honeydew list.
The honeydew list.
The phones and the fun. Dave's in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live, listening via the TuneIn app. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, you had the perfect word choice earlier, Ian. You said, "Let's go to Dan," and then more on millennials.
Okay.
More on millennials.
More on
gotcha.
millennials.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ian, you forgot the scenario. It's kind of like the Mark's or your girlfriend coming in and having Mark open your jar. Your girlfriend could get knocked up by some other guy.
It could.
Yeah, that could happen, but it wouldn't be mine. You're talking about whether or not I can have, or whether or not I would have children. If a girlfriend of mine got knocked up, that's pretty much evidence she's with some other guy.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, with the laws in your country in most states, if you happen to have gotten married, if she, for instance, somehow convinced you to actually get legally married, that
also
child
unlikely.
By some other guy would be your child legally.
Yet another
That's unfortunately
reason.
true.
Yet another reason to not get state married.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mark, roadside changing a tire roadside. I can change a tire onto a wheel roadside.
Really?
On a bicycle?
You know how to do that? Pardon?
On a bicycle?
No, an automotive tire.
Go for it. I'd like to know.
I've seen there's tricks for rocking the rim and doing a few things to making it happen, but I think it'd be a long process. Go ahead.
No, well, you can learn it on YouTube. It's the same as a bicycle tire, just a little bit more force, but it's the same exact technique. But you can do it, and people do it all the time. So you can do that
with a couple like crowbars or big screwdrivers or something to wedge it on there.
Yeah, a couple about the size of a 1-inch wrench, an inch and an eighth wrench. A couple of those will do the trick. And
when was the last time that ever was necessary roadside?
Yeah, right. But it could be done.
If you're driving through, here's a real life one.
Okay.
If you're driving through the middle of nowhere, like Wyoming, for instance, this happened to me, and I was pulling a trailer. So you got the two axles on your vehicle, and then you got two axles on your trailer, which gives you way more opportunities to blow tires.
Yep.
Okay.
And I was already thinking ahead. I was already carrying two spares for my trailer, and I ended up blowing out two tires within one right after the other one. So I had no more spares, and you could be in a situation where there are tires everywhere, but there might not be a mechanic for 100 miles with a machine to swap the tire out. So you could be in a position where, and I have been, where you could go get you could find a tire, somebody would sell you a tire, but you had to get it off of their wheel and put it on your wheel without a machine. So there's a real life example. Or if
would they not sell you the wheel along with it, or would they offer a trade for the wheel that you currently have on?
Maybe why would they want to sell you if they got a nice set of rims and you just need a tire? Why are they going to sell you one of their $200 rims and then they only have 3 of the same rim left? So, and then the other thing too is that people that live farmers or ranchers or whatever, if they live in the middle of nowhere and it's 35 miles each way to town, but it takes them 15 minutes to manually take one tire off of a rim and manually put the other one back on, which way is more cost effective on their time? Doing it themselves at home by hand. So
good call, Dave. Thanks for sharing your thoughts tonight, as always. And don't forget to check more Richie on his show, The Anarchist Experience.
AnarchistExperience.com.
Once a week, it's a podcast. You can check him out anytime you want. There's archives, of course, at AnarchistExperience.com. And we will see you tomorrow night. And between now and then, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. Please don't forget to amp the show as well at ampamp.freetalklive.com. See you then.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN